What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at something a little different. This is the Leqismart A8 Electric Scooter. I've had this thing for about a week now, and I have to say this thing is impressive. It's so futuristic to me. This reminds me of like the Tesla of scooters. As I mentioned before, me and my wife both have e-bikes, but ultimately we wanted something a little more portable and easier to lug around. That's when we started looking into these electric scooters. And for the value and the price, this was one of the best ones I've come across, and I'm so glad that I went with this one here. Taking a look at the specs, this has a 350 watt motor with a 630 watt peak, 10.4 amp hour battery with a 28 mile max range, 15.53 miles per hour top speed, weighs 34 pounds, and my favorite feature of all, has app support. Being the techie guy that I am, that is probably the thing that I like most about this scooter. As far as unboxing goes, there really wasn't much to it. For most part, the scooter already came pre-assembled. The only thing you had to do was connect the handlebar piece to the down tube here. And there were 6 screws total, so you got 2 here, 2 here, and then 2 more over here. Beside that, the scooter already came pre-charged with about 50–60%. So between opening the box, about 5 minutes later, I was already up and going, ready to take it for a spin. Taking a look at the scooter physically, I have to say I like how sleek it looks. Not only that, but I really like the build quality. Everything over here is all made of aluminum. The only pieces that are plastic will be the front fender, this cover back here, and then the back fender. This whole part, it's all one piece. I really like that because a lot of scooters have one piece here, then they have some bolts that connects to another metal piece here and a metal piece here, and I much prefer it to be all integrated in one piece. Not only does it look better, but it also gives you less chance of areas of failure, because when you got bolts and stuff connecting, stuff can pop off, things can go wrong. So this seems like a more secure and solid build to me. Taking a look at the floorboard here, we have a nice rugged rubber material. I think I prefer this a lot better than the traditional grip tape you see on most scooters, because that's more of a sandpaper. So as you use it more, your feet are going to be rubbing against it and it's going to break down and lose some of its traction. But with this, it's rubber. So you could rub this all day with your feet. It might get some stains or look worn, but realistically, the grip isn't going to change much and it's going to hold up a lot better. Coming around back, we have 9-inch anti-puncture pneumatic tires. So this scooter does not have a front or rear suspension, which I was kind of disappointed about at first. But after riding it for a while, these tires absorb really well, so there really wasn't a need for it. And after you consider the weight loss you gain from not having a suspension, it works out pretty well. So this scooter only has one mechanical brake on the rear tire, but it also has something really cool called eABS, which is, for me, kind of mind-blowing, and another feature that makes me feel like this is the Tesla of scooters. So similar to a car, if you drive through water or snow and this scooter detects that your wheels aren't properly turning and guiding along the floor, but more hydroplaning and sliding, it'll activate the ABS feature to try to gain some traction on the ground and get you back riding instead of crashing into a wall. So I obviously haven't had a chance to test this out, and I hope I really never have to, but it's a really nice safety feature to know that's there. Another really cool feature this scooter has is something called gyro sensors. So when you're riding the scooter, it detects if you're going uphill or downhill, and it adjusts the power output accordingly. So if you're going uphill, it will add more torque to get you up the hill without slowing down much. And if you're going downhill, it'll add some friction in the back wheels, some kind of basically like engine braking, so that you don't go down there flying at 50 miles per hour, but it'll maintain your good 15 to 20 miles per hour. On top of that, it also detects as you lean, and if it detects you're off balance, it'll provide assistance to get you back upright. So I didn't really feel it when I was riding, but I'm guessing it's more of a subtle thing, and maybe it's just programmed really well, you don't really notice it, but again, nice thing to have. Coming up front, there really isn't much to show, but right here on the left side, you have your one mechanical brake lever. On top of that, this also activates what feels like engine braking inside the rear motor. So as you apply the brake, it'll add resistance in the motor, and that really helps you slow down. So even though it's just one brake, you still have really good stopping power. Then you got your rubber grip here. It honestly looks a little generic, but it is a really plush rubber material. So when I was riding, I found this really did help absorb a lot of bumps in the road. Over here, you got a bell. Only thing I don't like about this bell is I feel like you have to add about 1.5 pounds of pressure to this little lever here. So you kind of have to be really intentional about ringing it. My bicycle bell, you kind of just flick it like that and it'll just ring. But this one, is you got to apply some pressure to really get it going. Coming around this side, you got your thumb throttle, no complaints, pretty standard for any e-scooter or e-bike. And then right up here in front, you have your integrated front light. Honestly, judging by the size of this little thing, I expected it to look like a cheap dollar store flashlight and it wasn't gonna be useful. But I did some comparisons at night and it actually lights up the area pretty well. It's nothing crazy, but if you're out riding and you get stuck out at night, this is gonna do the job to show you where you need to go. I'll go ahead and take some comparison photos and throw that up right now so you can kind of see the before and after of the light output. All right, so I've saved some of the best features for last. Let me go ahead and show you this. One button tap, that activates the front light. These awesome glowing blue lights at the side, and the integrated rear brake light. On top of being a static light while you're riding, when you tap your brake handle, they flash to alert people in back of you. These are approach lights, but another really cool thing about it is with the integrated gyro sensors, as you lean on the bike to turn, it detects your lean and it'll start blinking on that side. So they're basically integrated turn signals. Taking a look at the main screen up front, there's only one button that controls all the actions on the bike. To turn on the bike, all you have to do is hold this button down. As the screen comes on, it'll show you how many miles you have left of range. Then that'll switch over and show you your miles per hour. At the bottom, you got how many bars of battery. And then over here, you have your speed selector. So right now it's on low. You double tap it. You can go to medium and then high. If you tap the button once, it'll activate your front light as well as the two lights on the side and the rear brake light. So you just tap that again. You want to save battery and it'll shut that off. It's a really nice bright screen. I really like how it looks. The color looks real nice. It has a nice futuristic look to it. I think I like how this screen looks a lot better than the screen that's on my Aventon. Overall, it has a lot more contrast and it's much easier to read. All right, so real quick, before we dive into the app capabilities, you might have noticed I have some damage right here. And I also have some more damage right here. And there's a few miscellaneous scrapes on that side. So what happened was this bike has a safety feature similar to what I have on my Aventon e-bike. So on my e-bike, it has something where it detects when you're moving your pedals. And unless it detects you're moving your pedals, it will not give you power. There's no throttle, there's no pedal sense. But once you start moving your pedals, it'll say, okay, you're actually riding, and it'll give you the power. That's a safety feature, so it doesn't throw you against the wall by accident. This has something similar. So if I do this right now, there's no power. So what you have to do is you have to kick it a few times. Once the scooter detects it's going about 2 miles per hour, it basically unlocks and you're able to use the throttle. What happened was I was riding it today. Like I said before, this is my first e-scooter, so I'm new to these. I was pushing this. So in my mind, you know, it's safe. I kind of failed to realize as I'm pushing it, it's detecting my movement. So I was pushing it along like this, and it actually reached 2 miles per hour. And by accident, I was holding it on this side, and I guess my finger hit the throttle, and really quick, this whole front end just jumped up and flew away, and it went flying way over there. Like, when you're not on this scooter, it's surprising how much torque this thing has. It just flew so quickly. I did not have a chance to stop it. It landed, it flipped upside down, and it landed right here, scraped up all of this, and then that's how I got that as well. It was a pretty bad crash, so I'm really surprised the screen didn't break. Nothing really happened. It just got that small chip right there. I've touched it up with some Sharpie markers so you can't see it too much, but just a little tip, if you do get the scooter, once you get off of it, make sure you turn it off. All right, taking a look at the app is real simple. Just go to the Google Play Store and download the Leqismart app. Once you open that up, it'll bring you to this screen here. And over here, you have your main controls. I'll go over in a second. But what I really like is if you come down here to where it says record or record, it'll track all your riding stats. So without you having to open any apps on your phone, you cannot have your phone with you and still ride your scooter. And internally, it tracks when you ride. So today I rode 0.9 miles. And it also shows my average speed was 8.8 miles per hour. My max speed was 15.3. 5-minute riding time, and then it shows how much carbon emissions you reduced. That's more of a gimmick, but all this stuff is really helpful. So if you go riding every single week, you'll eventually see a graph here that'll add up all your riding time, similar to like Relive and all those other biking apps. So it's real handy that it does it automatically for you. Coming around to the main screen, up top, you got a picture of the scooter. This scooter comes in either this dark gray color that I have here, but it also comes in white. So depending which model you have, you can change that to match what you have. Up top, you have your battery level remaining, your total riding time, your mileage left, and then basically the odometer for the bike. Down here, you have the e-scooter fortification switch. Basically just a simple lock and unlock of your scooter. If you lock this, automatically your scooter gets locked and cannot be used. So if someone turns it on, it adds rolling resistance in the wheels, so it's almost impossible to kick roll it. So it's a nice little security measure to have in there. So basically you come back over here to unlock it, click that one more time, and then your scooter is ready to roll again. Down here, same as on the main control panel, you could also adjust your gears. So you got the low, medium, and high. Same thing, headlight on, headlight off. One other awesome feature that I love on this scooter is it has cruise control. So as you're riding and you're going whatever speed you're going, if you hold down the throttle and leave it at that speed for 2 seconds, automatically the speed locks in. You can let go of the throttle and it'll just coast along till you either use the throttle again or apply the brake. So again, another reason why I call this the Tesla of scooters. There's so many car-like features in this scooter that it makes it so futuristic. Last but not least, if you come over here in the top right corner, you have another setting toggle and configuration menu. So up top, you have your scooter name. Down below that, the picture you can set, whether your scooter is white or gray. And then you have your speed limit adjustment. Once you click that, it'll bring up this menu here. Like I said, the scooter has 3 different speed modes. And if one of them feels too fast for you, you can go ahead and tone that down to your liking. The only issue I have with this is on low mode, when I was riding on more rough terrain, it kind of had more of a problem staying stable and would not stay balanced because it was just going too slow and it couldn't get up to speed it needed to. So I would like if this let me not only set down, but also put it up a few notches and put it like around 9 or 10. Coming back to the main menu, the next item you have is no startup. So right now that's off, so that means the safety feature is on. So if you try to hit that throttle right now and not moving it, it won't do anything. But if you go ahead and turn that on, that bypasses that and you can go ahead and move it whenever you like. But it's a nice feature to have, so personally, I will go ahead and leave that on. Below that, you also have unit adjustment. So depending where you are, you can set that how you like. And energy recovery intensity. It's another feature I forgot to go over, but this scooter basically has regen. So as you ride, you recover up to 10% energy just by moving along. So compared to my e-bike, this thing is so futuristic that my bike feels like a dinosaur. So the next e-bike I have, hopefully I get one that has a lot of tech like this. Coming below that, you have instructions, and then last but not least, you have fault detection. This is really cool, similar to cars. It is basically a self-diagnostic mode. So when you click that, it'll bring up a series of checks that'll check internally in the scooter to make sure everything is properly functioning. So if it detects anything's wrong, instead of showing that check mark, it'll show an X, and I guess at that point you'll reach out to the manufacturer and get a part replaced to see what you can do about getting it fixed. So if you see right now it's checking everything, everything's good, and you're good to go, you're safe to ride. Not only does it show it here, but every time you start the scooter, it also does that same test real quick. So if something was wrong, it'll pop up on your phone and say, hey, something's wrong, don't go riding, check it out first. The last thing on here is one that is not working. I reached out to the manufacturer, right now they said they're working on it. But right here, move closer to unlock. So you know how I told you guys you can lock and unlock the scooter with the app? But if this is working, you can walk up to your bike with your phone. As soon as it detects you, it'll unlock, show the welcome lights, and you'll be ready to ride. And then when you walk away, it'll lock it and leave it that way. So I'm really hoping they get that fixed up. So moving on to things so far I don't like. 2 things on this scooter I don't like right now after owning it for a week. One would be the latch right here to fold it down. It's in an awkward position, the button's here, and to flip this down, it requires a bit of force, and there's not much room to get behind this handle, so it's not as user-friendly as I hoped it would be. Second thing I don't like is how it stays in the folded position. So when you fold it down, it has this little latch here, and that links in to this little spot here. So you go ahead and drop that, and then basically it slides in from the side. But that's how it does. It just sits in there. So I feel like if you put this in the back of your car, as you're driving around, hitting some bumps, I feel like it has the chance to slide over and get into this position. So if you're not paying attention and you lift it up, chances are it could just come out and the whole thing will come crashing out. So I would really like to see if they make an updated model, make a little something in there to click it in and hold it, or make a little latch right here, something to hold it in and be more secure. Because right now, as it is, this makes me a little nervous and I don't really trust it too much. All right, well, that about wraps up this video. Like I said, I've only owned this scooter for about a week now, but so far I do really like it. For the price, I feel like you're getting a lot of features and specs, especially when you compare it to the competitors out there. If you look at the Segway Ninebot, they have a scooter that's similar to this one. That one goes for $620, but that has less speed and less battery. This one's only at $489, and you're getting more for your money, a lot more. So if you're looking for an e-scooter, I would highly recommend taking a look at the Leqismart A8. If you guys have any questions at all, drop me a comment, let me know. I'll do what I can to help. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.